guys, what's going on? My name is Rich Syndicate, and today we are here for a new video. Now, it has been quite a long time. I've been quite busy, to be honest. So I've not got the time and the motivation either. But yeah, I was thinking to myself the past couple of days, why not make this Premier League prediction video? Because obviously in 2 weeks, that is on 12th of August, the Premier League season is going to start, and we are going to actually have a pretty good Premier League season, hopefully, because you have the likes of Luton Town, who are like the who have been promoted to the Premier League for the first time ever, and then you also have teams like Burnley and Sheffield United. They have returned to the Premier League, and then you also have possible multiple title challenges this time. I mean, last season there was just Arsenal and Man City, and that too Arsenal were not really in the title challenge from day one, even though they were top, because we knew somewhere deep down that yeah, Manchester City is going to gain form, and they're just going to gain momentum, and they'll just blitz through, and that's what they did and ended up winning the treble as well. Because when you have a monster striker like Haaland, you know you're going to score like at least 2 goals every match. But yeah, this time it's become much better. You have certain teams that are quite good right now. They are quite strong. You're seeing you're seeing quite weird transfers, and you're seeing Mason Mount to going to Manchester United. You see people like Declan Rice going to Arsenal for like a world record. No, wait, it wasn't a world record. It was British record. And you even see all around the Premier League. You see like probably Justin Kluivert to Bournemouth, which really stood out to me, to be honest. So all these transfers are quite interesting. And to be honest, ever since the last video that I uploaded on this channel, I haven't really followed football that much because obviously I've been busy, as I mentioned before, and also my hype for football as in general has died down a little bit. So yeah, whatever I know, whatever I have been following, whatever little I've been following, on basis of that, I have this tier list ready with me already. So as you can see, I have champions. So basically, who's going to win the Premier League? Oh, I'll just make this change here. Okay, yeah. And then below that is the Champions League. So who will take the second, third, and fourth spots to qualify for the Champions League? But I think next season, next to next season, that is the 24-25 season, apparently, the Champions League format is going to change a little bit, so even the qualification criteria will change. I don't know how exactly that's going to plan out, but I'm going to stick to the old style for now. So, we coming down, we have the Europa League, which are the fifth and sixth places in the Premier League. Then we have the Europa Conference League, which is basically seventh place. Now, mid-table, I have considered 8 to 14 places. To the 14th place, I've considered mid-table. And I have considered a relegation dogfight for 15th, 16th, and 17th places. Now, I will later on in the video, once we reach the relegation dogfight, I will mention why it is a relegation dogfight and why it isn't at the same time. It's kind of like a contrasting or paradoxical this tier. And obviously, you have relegations, the ones who will be relegated back down to the championship or the second division of English football. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's begin. So, here we have our teams all in order, alphabetical order. So that's how I'll be going about it. Now, first off, we have Arsenal. So Arsenal last season they were pretty good, despite falling off towards the end of the Premier League season. But they were quite good, and they have really good players. Their starting 11, especially, is really good. Not gonna lie, they have a good attack. They have Saka, they have Gabriel Martinelli, they have Gabriel Jesus. Now they even have Kai Havertz. If they use Kai, if Arteta knows how to use Kai Havertz properly, then he can prove to be a very dangerous asset for Arsenal. They even have Odegaard. Now obviously they don't have players like Granit Xhaka who has left the club. I think even Thomas Partey. I don't know if he's still there, but there were rumors of him leaving. So unless Partey, I mean, yeah, I think that's why they took Declan Rice, right? I think they took Declan Rice because you have midfielders like Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey who are leaving the club. So that is kind of understandable. Then they even have a good goalkeeper in Aaron Ramsdale. Even you have a good defense in Gabriel. Then you have Ben White. You have Zinchenko. You even have Saliba. So a pretty good starting lineup. But however, the bench doesn't seem as strong as what you'd see of a potential champion. So I won't keep them in champions, but I think they will get Champions League again, football once again. That's what I feel. So I think it'll be like third or fourth place around. I'm mostly going for third place, unless I obviously change my opinion. So this is just a relative tier list for now. Nothing is fixed. This is completely unscripted. So whatever I think or at the moment, I will place them over there. Obviously, I will take a final check. I will see if that's how I want the tier list to be. And so for now, I will keep Arsenal in the Champions League spot. I have a feeling they will get Champions League with the current squad that they have. Third, fourth place is good unless they have a few major injuries. Otherwise, then yeah, then they might just slip down to Europa League here. But for now, Champions League is good. Now, second have Aston Villa. So Aston Villa last season they had a very rocky start under Steven Gerrard, and they obviously sacked him and got Unai Emery. Unai Emery is a class manager. I'm already saying this. I'm saying this here. He's a world-class manager. You won back-to-back Europa Leagues with Sevilla. I think he won a total of four Europa Leagues, and now they're in the Europa Conference League, Aston Villa. So yeah, they're bringing in players. I don't know whom they've brought in. I haven't followed Aston Villa as much, but I think they've bought a really good player. I'm not sure who. So Aston Villa as a whole, I think they can aim higher than Europa Conference League. They have the potential, no doubt, but I think with them playing Europe as well. I think their domestic performance will go down a little bit because they don't have a squad depth as such compared to your other European teams or even the big six, the traditional big six that you have. Aston Villa don't have the squad depth, so I think mid-table they will place, I think 10th, ninth or 10th, I guess this time around. But it'll be a strong season. I think they will go far ahead in the Conference League, probably round of 16 or quarterfinals. But yeah, domestically, I think ninth or 10th is a decent finish. And then next up we have Bournemouth. So Bournemouth, they really did well last season to stay up, and it was a really Herculean task. It was a really Herculean task, and they managed to achieve it, which is it's big. It's a really big thing. Congratulations to them. But, but, and here comes the but. I think they will struggle this time around. I don't know why. Even though they have bought players like Justin Kluivert, who is Patrick Kluivert's son, as everyone knows already. Even though they have players and they have the potential to aim higher, now that they have a new manager as well. I don't know who the new manager is now, but they got rid of Gary O'Neill, who helped them survive. Based on all that, I probably think a relegation dogfight would be ideal for Bournemouth. I don't think they're going to break into mid-table. I mean, obviously, European places are very far-fetched right now, but I don't think they'll be mid-table. I think they'll be in a relegation fight, but uh, I think 16th or 17th place right now for Bournemouth would be quite good, to be honest. Them surviving would be quite good for them. So I think I will place them in relegation dogfight for now. 16th or 17th place is good. It is ideal for them. Next up, we have Brentford. Now, Brentford, another one of those teams like Aston Villa, Brighton, even Newcastle. They had a superb season last season. I think they ended up finishing what, ninth, which is really good considering people were actually tipping them to go down because of second season syndrome, obviously. But they maintained it. Thomas Frank did a really good job. You have Ivan Toney, you have Mbuemo, you even have the defense line. I don't remember the players now. I think you have Ben Mee and all those guys in defense. Even Raya, David Raya, I think that was his name, the goalkeeper, the Spanish goalkeeper. He also did a really good job. So overall, yeah, the Brentford squad is like really tightly knit, and so they have a really good team chemistry overall. So I think they will survive another season. Not survive actually. They will survive quite well. I think I put Aston Villa is ninth or tenth, right? So I think I will put Brentford. Brentford I'll put 11. No wait. I'll not put 11th. You know what? I'll put Aston Villa as 10th and Brentford as ninth. I think Brentford will end up ninth once again. Okay, so that's it for Brentford. Now we have Brighton. Brighton, another team. Actually, to be honest, I really like Brighton's gameplay a lot. I really love watching Brighton's games, except for against when they were against Chelsea, obviously. But Brighton's gameplay is what really stands out, and what really is talked about a lot about the team. They are really well set up. It may be if it was under Graham Potter, may it be under De Zerbi. They are really tightly knit as a team, and their gameplay is just really positive, attacking gameplay. It's just a really positive. You really love to see their game. You are really like, oh yes, this team is one to beat. So I don't think they will get Europa League again now that they have already qualified for Europa League, which is a big task in itself and really massive. So I don't think they will get Europe once again. I think a mid-table finish for them is good enough. I think they will finish eighth, just ahead of Brentford and Aston Villa. I think the mid-table fight between these three is going to be very crucial between Brighton, Brentford, and Aston Villa. But I think this is how it is going to be for now. Brighton 8th, Brentford ninth, and Aston Villa 10th. Unless I obviously change it later on. Now we have the first newly promoted team of this season, which is Burnley. Burnley was just down in the championship for one season. They got rid of Sean Dyche, and to be honest, no, I don't think anyone expected Burnley to get straight back up. But here we are. We have Vincent Kompany as a manager of Burnley. And to be honest, I haven't watched any Burnley matches last season. But I know people are praising Vincent Kompany a lot for like introducing a really positive style of gameplay in Burnley. Because I remember under Sean Dyche, they were just like park the bus and hit them on the counter. I know Sean Dyche's team is like a very low block style of play, which is like super defensive. But Vincent Company, I think from what people are saying, Burnley right now are quite the opposite of what they were under Sean Dyche. So I think they will do well if they have a good attack. I think they can do well for themselves. I don't think they will break into mid table. I don't think they will have to fight for relegation either. So I think a dog fight would be good. I have kept this tier as relegation dog fight, but especially for the 15th place team, they wouldn't really be in a dog fight. So I think they would be considered. Why I kept 15th place as relegation dogfight is because I think initially they will be kind of worried that they might go down, but then eventually as the season progresses, you reach like your 29th or 30th game and you're like in your final home stretch. I think around that time, Burnley will be safe. They will be like actually mathematically safe, and they don't have to worry about relegation or anything, and they'll just survive another year in the Premier League. Next up, Chelsea, which is my club, obviously, as you can see over here. Chelsea last season, obviously, I will not deny last season was absolutely pathetic. I mean, people say, "Oh, you spent 500 million, but still ended up 12th." There are a lot of internal matters as well. Like as a Chelsea fan, I know what's going on in my club. Now I don't as much anymore. But last season, I knew quite a bit that was going behind the scenes. You had new management, you had new manager, not really. You had Tuchel for like the first 6, 7 games, and then you sack him for another manager. But you did buy a lot of players either for Tuchel or for yourself. By yourself, I mean the management, especially Todd Bowley. But then you had a lot of chop and change. You had a huge squad. You had three different managers, actually four if you count Bruno Salter as well. So yeah, it was a huge mess. It was a clown circus, if you can put it in any way. It was a huge circus. But I think now that Todd Bowley is not getting involved as much in the internal matters of the club, I think it's become a bit more stable, should I say? And now that Pochettino has showed himself up, and the preseason is also quite what do you call it? Promising. The preseason is quite promising. You have players like Jackson and Kunku coming in. I mean, yeah, granted, you don't have midfielders as much because you sold the likes of Kovacic, Jorginho last season itself, and as well as Kante. And you might sell. You have also sold Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You might sell Gallagher. So considering all this, I think it is safe to say that you need to buy midfielders. I think the Caicedo deal is, I think, as per latest reports, the 80 million bid has been rejected by Brighton. So unless you buy another midfielder, because you like the main midfielders you have right now is just Enzo. You just have Enzo right now. Then you have others like you have Gallagher, you have Chukwuemeka, you have Cassidy. You have all these up and coming talents. I mean, even Enzo is an up and coming talent, but he's proven. So Chelsea right now, I don't think they're going to break into the Champions League. I mean, they don't have European football to play, obviously, but I think given their current squad depth and given everything that's going on and has been going on, I think Chelsea will finish fifth. They will finish in the Europa League places. I think they'll just miss out by I think 4 or 5 points. But yeah, Europa League is considering last season Europa League is quite a good achievement. Next up we have Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is one of those teams where you're like, yeah, you know where they're ending up because 40 points for like the last 8 or 9 seasons consecutively. You are not going anywhere from 40 to 50. You're just staying consistent. And I think Crystal Palace are going to continue doing that. I mean, there's no harm in being a mid-table Premier League team. They are maintaining consistency. They are well managed. They are well run. So I don't see any problems here. So I think 11th place is decent enough. I think they'll have like 44 to 45 points again this season. So there's not much to think about over here. Then next up you have Everton. Everton is another team where actually the last 2 seasons have been really bad for them. Their management is also kind of like what Chelsea's was last season. But for Everton, this has been like for the last 2 to 3 seasons. I think ever since Ancelotti was there and he just left the club, that's how it has been for since that time. Right now, I have not followed Everton as much, so I can't say whom they've brought in and whom they've sold. But all I can say is that I think Everton will be in another relegation dogfight. I don't think they'll break into mid-table anytime soon. I think they will struggle for another season or two, maybe more, until they can actually try and break into a mid-table fight. But yeah, for now, I think they have to battle for relegation right now because sadly, that's what they have become right now. I don't think they'll get relegated because you don't see that happening. I mean, I could kind of see that happening last season, but they somehow survived, and Leicester couldn't. So yeah, Everton 17th, Bournemouth 16th, and Burnley 15th for now. Now Fulham. I mean, kudos to them. They had a really good season last season. Along, not as great as Brentford, Aston Villa, or Brighton because they were kind of inconsistent at times. But overall, I can say that Fulham, for a newly promoted team and ending up in the top half of the table, is quite commendable. But this time, they will survive as well. They will survive again this time. However, mm, actually, you know what? I have not put anyone in relegation. I mean, I'm not going to put Fulham. I think you know what I might do. I might put Bournemouth in relegation for now and Fulham mid-table. Fulham. I think they'll end up in like 12th or 13th place. They will just fall off a bit because I think Mitrovic might go to Saudi or he has already gone. I'm not sure, but I have heard that he is being linked to Saudi clubs. So if he goes, so attacking wise, it's quite disturbing for them, and I think they will not. I think they will be able to maintain it somehow with their midfield and their defense. You obviously have players like Palinia, you have Willian, you even have who else is there? Carlos Vinicius. I mean, not really a first team player. He's more of a substitute. But then you have like Bernd Leno, you have your defense, you have your Tim Reams and who else? I can't seem to remember. But yeah, Fulham have a good defense, so I think their defense will keep them up, 13th or 14th place. Liverpool, I think they are having a rebuild, and this rebuild is definitely going to bear fruit. They will join Arsenal in the Champions League, but I don't think they will be. I don't think they will be champions or like title challengers. Not now, at least. Or I think you know what they might pip Arsenal to third place because their midfield right now they're getting rid of players like Henderson, Fabinho. They're getting rid of all their old players and they're basically having a midfield rebuild. They've brought in players like Sabozlai and McAllister already, and I think they're also going to bring in Lavia and also to consider not to forget that Trent can actually like Alexander Arnold can actually play midfield as well. I mean, I mean, midfield is what he used to play before as well. But that's what he's better at. He's not good at a right back because his defense is not that great. But as a midfielder or as a playmaker, he's really good. So if Klopp continues to play Trent as a midfielder, so I think for Liverpool it will be really good, and I think they will get back into the Champions League spots unless something really bad happens. I think third place for them is good, and Arsenal will be safe in fourth place. I think that will happen. I think that will happen. Luton Town, very good story for them. It is really commendable what they have achieved. And Luton Town, they are just one of those teams that are like one of those what do you call them, a fantasy story or a dream story. I don't remember the exact term right now. But Luton Town, yes, they are a small club, not as big as your other Championship or League One clubs like Bolton or Sunderland, or even your I can't remember, even your Leicesters. But Luton Town, they can show courage, they can show strength, but I don't think they can survive. So I think I will not put them rock bottom though. I will put them 19th. 19th is kind of good. Actually, you know what? I might change this. I might make them 20th as well, based on the next few teams I have, especially over here, especially after Newcastle. Anyways, this yeah, Manchester City might be champions once again. That's what I'm betting on because right now, as long as Guardiola is there, Manchester City becoming champions is the safest bet. I might change my opinion later on in the video once I'm done with all the other teams. But for now, I think City are strong enough to win the Premier League once again and like defend their crown. So I think that'll be 4 times in a row. I think that's the first time ever in Premier League history since so Premier League is since 1992 that a team has won 4 times in a row. Even not even Manchester United was able to do that. Speaking of Manchester United, I think they have a really good squad right now. They have brought in Mount, and I think they've brought in another player. I can't really remember who that was. I think yeah, Onana. It was Andre Onana because obviously they terminated De Gea's contract. So I think it might be a Manchester title chase. I think it might be a title race between these three teams: Manchester City, Manchester United, and Liverpool. Liverpool, I think their title contention will drop down a bit once you reach like game week 23 or 24, and it'll mainly be between Manchester United and Manchester City. I don't know why, I'm just getting this feeling. But for now, I think this is a safe bet that I can make. Newcastle. I think you know what. I'm going to change Chelsea's position and make them sixth because Newcastle are a really strong team right now. Even though they haven't spent much money since the takeover, but they do have quality players. I think they brought in Sandro Tonali because Sandro Tonali is a quality Italian midfielder. And I know Italian midfielders aren't really, they're not like the best. They're not like the Spanish midfielders you had, like your David Silvas you had, or the Fabregas that you had. But Newcastle overall has a really good team. They have Callum Wilson, they have Alan Saint. Alan wait, I don't know wait, Alan Saint Maximin left. Okay, so you have your Miguel Almirons. You even have your Bruno Guimaraes. Even even a few others I can't seem to recollect right now. But overall, Newcastle is a very good club, and I think they will just miss out on Champions League this time because Liverpool will be back, Manchester United will be stronger, Arsenal are stronger, City obviously, if not winning the Premier League, Champions League is definitely guaranteed. So unless Newcastle have like a really good and really consistent season, I don't see them I don't see them like challenging the likes of United, Liverpool, or Arsenal. And then next we have Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest did really well last season, considering they had a really big squad, like Chelsea level big squad. So they did a really good job, but I think this time they will go down. And I think I have a feeling they're not going to have a really good season. So yeah, probably Nottingham Forest down. Next we have Sheffield United. Sheffield United, I do not know much of, so I can't say a lot about them. But I think there will be I think it will be between them and Bournemouth or Everton. Actually, more than Bournemouth, I think it will be Sheffield and Everton who will be in a relegation fight, a big relegation fight, like how it was between Everton, Leicester, and Leeds last season. I think Bournemouth will kind of be safe towards like the last 3 or last 4 game weeks. I think that's when Bournemouth will actually be safe. And actually, you know what? I think Bournemouth will not be as safe as I think they are. Okay, now this is going to be my final change. I am not going to change this anymore. Everton will be in that relegation battle, but I think they will not be. It will not be as serious as it was last season. So I think Everton 16th, Bournemouth 17th, and Sheffield United will be 18th. And Tottenham had a really miserable season, let's be honest. But do I think they'll be in Europa Conference League? If Kane leaves, then definitely not. I have a feeling that they might fall down the pecking order. I think, wait, it's Postecoglou, right? I think I read a bit about him. He's the new Tottenham manager. He is decent. He is decent, no doubt. But I think Europa Conference will be a realistic dream for Tottenham at the moment, especially if Kane leaves. West Ham, they did really well to win the Europa Conference League, and so now they're in a Europa League spot, despite finishing 13th or 14th in the Premier League last season. But one major one major summer transfer that, like, especially the player that they sold, one major player that they sold is obviously their captain, Declan Rice. So I don't know how their midfield is going to be right now, midfield and defense especially. I don't even think they have signed any players. They might have signed players, but I haven't kept a track. So I think West Ham will have a decent season. I think they will finish 12th. I think Fulham, I'll keep them as 13th. So I think West Ham 12th is fine, and Wolves obviously 14th. So even about Wolves, I think Lopetegui is a good manager, but you have really good teams. You have really good teams. You have your Brightons, you have your Brentfords, you have your Aston Villas. Even West Ham are good, but I think, you know what? I think I'll give Lopetegui a bit of benefit of the doubt. I think I'll place Crystal Palace 12th and Wolves as 11th, and because Lopetegui is another serial winner. Let's be honest. He won again. He won the Europa League with Sevilla as well, along with his competitor Unai Emery over here for 10th and 11th place. But I think Unai Emery is just slightly the superior manager. So I think he'll just get the last place of the top half of the table. So yeah, that's going to be my final tier list. I have Manchester City as champions. Then we have United, Liverpool, and Arsenal as your three teams to fill up the Champions League spots. You have Newcastle and Chelsea as your Europa League teams. You have Tottenham as your Europa Conference League team. Then you have Brighton in eighth, followed by Brentford, Aston Villa, and Wolves in ninth, 10th, and 11th, respectively. Then you have Crystal Palace, who are 12th, and West Ham 13th, and uh, Fulham to round up the mid table clash. Then in relegation dogfight, we have Burnley as 15th. Burnley will feel that they'll be in a relegation fight, as I mentioned earlier, but they will kind of be safe. Then you have Everton, similar story to Burnley, but they'll just find themselves safe much later on in the Premier League season. Then you have a major relegation fight between AFC Bournemouth and Sheffield United, where Bournemouth will end up winning and they will keep their place in the Premier League for next season. And my relegation candidates would be 18th Luton Town, 18th Sheffield United, 19th Luton Town, and last place will be Nottingham Forest. Actually, I feel kind of bad putting Nottingham Forest dead last because Steve Cooper is a good manager, and I didn't talk about them much either. Hmm, I don't want to keep Luton. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the obvious and keep Luton Town last, and I will keep Nottingham Forest as just above them. So yeah, I think this is my final tier list, and so yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you all enjoy. Hope you all enjoyed this video. This was kind of quite a long video, but I'll be doing minimal editing, so it won't be much of a pain for me as well. So yeah, I will see you in the next video whenever that comes out. Probably next year when I'm going to react to this tier list. So yeah, if you liked it, please like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you.